Welcome, boys, to the Boardcast. How are we doing today, lads?
Boardcast.
You know what? I think we had a pretty good episode last week.
I enjoyed it greatly. I listened to it 4 times.
Four times?
Yeah. Twice
Pop
I
those
listened
numbers
to it.
up, dude.
Yeah, twice I listened to it. The other 2 times I just put it on silent while I was doing
Yeah.
so that I could
I've been
rack
going
up
around
those
telling people to
listens.
go check out that episode just because it's the bands was pretty solid.
Yeah, nice
So-
and comfortable.
But what I've
easy to lay
noticed
back in.
is what actually gets views on YouTube is, surprise, surprise, whatever you put on the title. Like whatever you title it, and if the more you can clickbait it, the more views you get. So I had that one episode listed as how to build a deck, which we really didn't talk about how to build a deck, but I named it that because we talked about deck building and like the ratios you should put in a commander deck. And it has like 3 times more views than other episodes.
Did you write how to build a commander deck or
No,
how
I
to
said
build a
how to
deck?
build a deck.
Oh, I like that. You could really, if somebody's building like a deck
Yeah.
of, I don't know.
In the description,
Like
it does
poker
say
Deck of
commander.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck
Yeah.
of Monopoly.
So I could
Really going as
so as
broad
a
as
science
possible.
experiment, I could name this episode something entirely clickbaity and see if he gets more
Ooh,
views.
William drops his pants.
Yeah, I could name it that and see what happens.
Next minute
And
got
then
banned.
the next episode, we'll name it Daniel drops his pants. And the next episode,
Ooh.
Kang will drop
And
his
we see
pants.
which one.
And then we can see which one
Wouldn't
got
they be
the most
depreciating?
views.
It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? The guy listens to the first one. No one drops his pants this episode. Second one, once again, no one drops his pants. I'm not listening to the third episode.
So
no one drops
we'll
their
have
pants.
to play a little game like we'll rock, paper, scissors. Who's
So
the
1 in
episode
3
goes to go
chance.
first? Yeah.
Someone drops their pants.
Yeah. Oh.
Dibs not.
Interesting.
The third episode's like Will.
In this
Will.
entirely audio-based podcast, someone's going pantsless.
But they
I
will
could
know.
be pantsless right now. The listeners won't know.
But we have the listeners' trust, so they'll know that the pants have been dropped.
All right.
They have to be able to trust that we're.
Danny, do you have
we mean
pants
what
on
we
right
say.
now?
No.
I started work at 4 o'clock this morning, so hopefully for everybody here, my pants stay on and
Yeah.
not sweaty.
Interesting.
Interesting, boys. How are we feeling though? I'm feeling pretty good today.
I'm feeling okay. I just had dinner. That's my first meal of the day.
What did we get for Zambros in the end?
Oh, I just got some like pulled pork or whatever.
Was it one
Nachos. He got nachos.
Nachos.
Was it $185 getting it on Uber Eats?
No, not really.
How much?
$20.
It was more than. It was definitely more than $20.
It's $20 for the meal.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Normally when I go to Zambros, it's like $18 just to get the burrito at the place.
What the hell? What are you eating, bro?
I don't know, like the IQ burrito with the.
You ever
With
think
what?
about where, let's say you spend $30 on Uber Eats, get it delivered to you and nothing. And then there's some places in the world where $30 is their weekly income.
Yeah.
You ever wondered that?
Yeah.
Because the other day we looked at the Venezuelan inflation.
Oh, that was fun. That was we had a fun little time.
Yeah. It was a great little video, not for the Venezuelans. Hey, William, have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen how...
All right, I'll write
Have you
this-
seen how much Venezuela's inflation was going up
Yeah, it's crazy,
in like
I
the
know.
span of 2018?
I know.
Every month they were going up like 20 to 30%.
Yeah, I know that their currency is worthless.
Can you imagine? Like in that country, I imagine you probably get paid, say, weekly or monthly. You get paid monthly, and by the time you get that's an alarm.
That's my go to bed alarm.
Ooh, it's
very responsible.
10:30.
Usually that's when I start reading my book and then I go to bed after that.
Well, we can get back to that one. What book are you reading? But anyway, can you imagine that by the time you get paid, your money's already worth 30% less?
In the words of Joe Rogan's, it's unlucky.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Is that he coined the term unlucky?
The,
did
the
he?
internet,
Yeah, I mean,
the internet
It's
phrase for
true.
this.
Like if you get born in that country, like you didn't choose it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really unlucky.
in the internet, we call that spawn diff.
yeah, spawn dude.
Yeah,
Negative
spawn
spawn.
point.
you just spawn in the bad place.
Yeah, it's true.
Try
Right.
again. Next life.
Like your parents spawned in what they considered a bad place and they came here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Same as my parents.
Now it's a pretty good place.
You moved
that's
here.
called changing the game.
Your parents are still in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancestors.
Have
came
they
from
ever
China.
what? Ancestors.
Yeah. Everybody came from China. All Chinese.
Yeah. But have your parents ever considered moving out here?
Nah.
No, they're fine with Malaysia.
Yeah.
Probably because they're old.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain age, you don't want to be moving no more.
Nah.
No, a lot of old people move. A
Yeah?
lot of people get it like go get a caravan and then move around permanently. Have you ever seen the massive thing about how old people just get on like cruise boats and
Not
just die on
Asians.
cruise boats?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that how they die?
Yeah, but they're
So
fine
old
with that
people go missing.
because like a lot of the places they can live on the cruise for cheaper than they can live.
I wonder if I can be 80 and just hitchhike across America and see where I die
Oh,
you
we got-
definitely don't. You know, wait, what? So we talk.
with gout. Yeah, I'm hobbling everywhere.
This is why we should have recorded this and just jammed. We should have that. We should take that conversation.
Wait,
just put
before
it in
this
the middle of
episode
this one.
started, for the listeners who weren't here for the recording, I was like, oh man, I think my gout is tickling back in, and I had like 20 minutes worth of William just like,
Yeah, Willie went full
Dad
dad
find
mode.
me.
Yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
right at the end of the day.
he's right.
Being like, oh, I've got gout and I can just only eat.
Yeah,
half
but
the
if
steaks
the
is
closer
a
you, the
shit
closer you
six.
get to being my parents, the more I do what I do with my parents, which is ignore them entirely.
I do appreciate that. That's for sure.
What book are you reading, Danny?
It's
Physical book?
a
Audio
physical
book?
book. Yeah, I'm actually listening. This could normally,
William does not know what that is.
Man.
normally on. Well, I used to read a lot. Just haven't really found.
When was the
time.
last time you touched a book, William?
When I was in school.
Holy moly! So I normally on an audiobook listen to like self-help, like business kind of stuff.
I
It's,
get
like,
it.
Very broy, but I've gone back to the Horus Heresy and I've been listening to.
That's not self-help. Horus Heresy.
It's not now. Yeah. Well, it's
Well, it is self-help.
in
a way.
40,000 years, it might help me.
It's like, do not betray the emperor
And then in my physical
Or
book
do betray the emperor.
is yeah, it's
and
true.
become the chaos.
Yes, 50, right? Either way. And then on my physical book, it's a Warhammer Fantasy book about like them trying to unite it's like this one's about
I like
Averland
this.
being
I like
united
this
back to the
read book
Empire.
before go to bed because I sincerely think it's a good way to unwind your brain.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to for a long time because I've really for a long time wanted to read more of Hunter S. Thompson's writings. Hunter S. Thompson, if you don't know, he was like a journalist in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
Where he was stuck in he really pioneered a type of journalism called gonzo journalism, which is called going to the thing, living the thing, and then writing about it.
Yeah.
And he has
It's
lived
like the immersion is like the goal.
yeah. He's lived a crazy lifestyle where he's written some pretty whacked out books, and he's had movies based on his books, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp often praises him as a mentor. So realistically, someone with an interesting life like that, I kind of want to read his writings.
I think I think in a modern time as well, there's things that he could have got away with that time that maybe are right or wrong,
Correct.
but could have got away with it. We should definitely not get away with it now. So
Yeah.
it's like not only is his work lost, the chance to replicate it is very unlikely. You know
Especially because his most famous writing probably is Fear and Loathing at Las Vegas, right? A lot of what he did then was only doable because security and policing was less
Yes,
in
yeah.
America at that time.
Yeah, and like insurance and stuff like that as well. Like if you're a paid journalist, you would be breaching your insurance to go put yourself in situations that are clearly like dangerous or whatever, or like with criminals, and then so a lot of that stuff won't get published or get certified by like lawyers and stuff like that because of that. And then just working for a journalist company where it feels like the 60s, 70s, 80s was very much cowboy. You just like go do whatever you want and bring back the story at the end of it, right? It's kind of like you hear
Like Cold War, like 60s America, since felt like such a cowboy wild time.
Oh yeah, I think that it's so much of what the United States.
Mix of that hippie movement as well.
Yeah,
the
like,
rebellion.
Yeah, what their
the
identity
freedom.
is basically the freedom to like do whatever crazy stuff they did, and
The fact that
it's kind of
people were just
disappearing, right?
yeah, like those hippies, right? How did they make money? Did they just?
I think it was just they could just live. You just live with not a lot of money, but then a lot of them worked in like co-ops, like a lot of the communities you think of,
Right.
And the different like movements worked.
And then Charles Manson is like, "Hey, I have an idea."
Yeah. Well, they were all involved in co-ops and farms, and you know there was a little bit of drug dealing with like marijuana and stuff.
Oh,
like that,
you're right. The drugs.
Yeah.
They're making money off drugs.
But there's some of it was just like literally just co-ops where they'd all work on like a strawberry farm.
Yeah.
So it's
Get
easy. To,
free strawberries.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
Free.
and a lot of other stuff, dude.
Do you know, as we're here flicking the flies away, do you know the police think they found a reason why we have so many flies?
Why?
So there's local farms.
Who do we blame?
Yeah, local farms have been mincing chicken manure and using it as manure, like mixing into the soil. And it's illegal in Australia if it's not what's the word, like
Regulated.
yeah, put through gone through a process. There's a like manufactured stuff, right? But they've just been mincing it. So because there's like literally minced chicken, who I assume have died from like the bird flu that's having the problem, which is why we have an egg
shortage.
That's why we have an egg shortage. They're using all the dead birds to then create manure out of, or like fertilizer, and then that's just going straight into the soil. And then obviously now the soil is full of like flesh, which then the flies
Dead
can lay
chicken
eggs
bits.
in, and then the eggs hatch, and there's copious amounts of flesh just in the soil that
cool.
What do you call it? Maggots will like live in.
Yeah,
and that's
cool,
why we have
cool,
an crazy abundance of flies right now. Because it's like an uptick of like bugs at the moment, but in Perth specifically in the northern metro, it's just a crazy amount of flies, and it's only affecting us. It's not the entire life cycle of flies all over the state.
There's
It's
been a
just this
strong
area.
case of every time I get in home, it's just like swat out all the flies, close my door.
I left my truck window open, and I came back the next day. It was just a little gap. I'd forgot to like close it right to the top, and I came back the next day, and it was like I described it to, I think it was Riley, but have you seen? I think it's when the Anchorman guy and then Marky Mark they're both police officers, but they're shit police officers, and they find his car, and his car's got a bunch of homeless people having like an orgy in his car.
Oh yeah,
I described it to, I think it was Riley.
You can describe flies as homeless.
Yeah,
they
were just flying around all in there. It was crazy. It was like there was so much. I opened the door and they were like whatever, and I was like, You just know there's little dirty little flies have been touching everything.
Yeah, especially when they've been all over dead chicken bits.
Yeah, that's where they started. Gross.
Ew.
Anyway, hopefully.
How far into the book are you?
Okay, so I started like 2 years ago, and I
2 years ago?
I got like a third in.
So
What?
Are you doing the thing that every 40k player wants to do, which is read Horus Heresy from start to finish?
That's what I'm doing on the audiobook, which when I'm doing when I'm driving, but I'm reading a Warhammer Fantasy book. So I started like a couple years ago, and then I got like a third of the way in, and then I haven't really had a chance to go back to it, but I've read pretty much the rest of the book in the last like couple weeks or so. Ooh. And my goal is to then create regular reading. Listener and member of the Patreon, Mr. Graham, has lent me 2 of his Warhammer Fantasy books from the 60s.
Nice.
I think 60s,
Isn't
70s.
that like a long time ago he lent you that?
He did let you. I think you were here.
Yeah.
But that's what the goal is, to finish the one that I was already reading.
That was ages ago.
And then I want to
just like the miniatures you're supposed to pay.
Well, we joked about getting Eli to
It's April
paint my
now.
minis. I actually spoke to him yesterday. I was like, hey, you want to paint a painting competition for me?
November to April, 6 months.
You know what? This is still on track for how long it takes for me to paint. This is still on track
See,
for me.
I'm in the parameters.
Yeah.
Whatever
I thought
parameters
I
we
was
set,
the
that's what we're in.
slowest.
But anyway, so my goal is really to get back to a bit of like consistent reading before bed. For me, it definitely helps wind down a little bit. And I've noticed when I was younger, my vocabulary used to be really good. And I've noticed that start to dip a little bit.
Yeah, you bet.
I feel like it's so much situated in just like text speech. You know what I mean? Like I use terms that I would only say in text messages now. So I'm trying to also rewrite my text messages as more sentences, as like full complete sentences, which is a little crazy
You're gonna
sometimes.
start using punctuation?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like I don't want to go down a spiral of stupidity and end up at the bottom of whatever that pit looks like. You know what I mean? So
The end of that pit is
education.
AI does all the thinking for us.
I just don't want that though.
Yes.
So
You know what the most functional way to study for students right now is? I shit you not. This is me and a lot of classmates. We'll take like a 60-page lecture that the teachers kind of like publish for us, and we'll push it through AI and have AI summarize it for us.
Oh, that's cool. I wish I had that.
Do you guys know a guy that just puts everything in AI? Do you guys know a person like that?
No,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's happening a lot nowadays. It's more and more common. It's super common in the younger kids now in like primary school.
Okay, let me ask you a
like
question,
high
right?
school where it's less regulated, they care less. But in university, it's happening a lot because of the pressure to pass. They've had to rewrite a lot of courses because of it.
Hold on. Did the summarization help you?
It's a good way of knowing what to expect going in. I still go through my entire lecture making my own notes because I think me making my own notes is going to help me comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, I
but
feel
what
like reading and writing notes down is part of the memorizing process.
Correct. And what's been a really functional tool that I have used AI for is I'll have AI make me quizzes afterwards.
Ooh,
It
I
generates
like
your
that.
questions afterwards.
Because it's giving you a
Like a
way
mini
to
test.
learn the answer rather than just giving you the
Nice.
answer.
You can
Well-
take
well
a
use
whole
of
lecture
AI
and
right there,
there's a
okay.
bunch of tools out there. And ChatGPT included. You can just push all of it through ChatGPT and be like, generate me 10 quiz questions based on the topic.
Because a certain female
good.
that I was connected to, she would put every single conversation we would have through AI and then ask the AI who was right or who was wrong. And
What a nightmare.
Also, like,
Oh.
You know that's become Nem.
Red flag alert.
Nem has really
alert.
spiraled into using the ChatGPT. Where
Yeah, Nem uses
he's
it a
like,
lot as
I have a
well.
question to ask. Let's ask ChatGPT, and I'm like, he's not the arbiter of everything.
No,
you know?
and that's why because Nem will say stuff that I know is categorically wrong. I know it, and we look it up the actual research, and that's not correct. But the problem is, ChatGPT works as
It is aggregate
aggregator
starter.
of all the information on the
It just
internet.
agrees on what the majority might
So
say.
if William and I spend the next 3 weeks dedicating our time to make sure that every forum on the internet says that the sky is purple, there will be enough information out there that then ChatGPT just assumes the sky is purple because that's the information that's been given. So you can't trust it because the world is full of stupid people, and if enough stupid people put stupid shit on the internet, it'll aggregate from itself, and now it'll aggregate from that like lower pool of information, and that's what it thinks is correct, and it's doing its job correctly, but it's taking from the wrong thing.
But that's going to be how everyone thinks in 10 years' time.
Well, I guess, like, does it shift their reality? Like, you look up at the sky now and it's clearly blue. But you're like, well, that must be purple because it's like, when does that become the arbiter of information? Yeah. I did not love it though, because every time we'd have an argument.
So you're one of the paladins, defending the old arts of reading physical books.
I would rather not know than have ChatGPT tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I, for a long time in my studies, fought against using ChatGPT until I'm fucked now, right? Because the entire course structure of a lot of what I'm studying is now built around the assumption that students are going to use ChatGPT.
That's
and
gross.
now it's hard, because if I don't use it, I'm just significantly behind my fellow students.
Yeah, I feel like if it's expected, then I get it. It's kind of like me being
Good
an old man about
assistant.
it.
You make it like your assistant, right?
Well, they've made things harder. Like a lot of things now are just harder in university because of the assumption that you're going to have an AI assistant.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like when calculators were invented, there was old guys being like, "Calculators is cheating," So
Correct.
And now we have calculators on our phone, so it'd be stupid not to use a calculator.
Yeah.
The more AI exists, the more I get frustrated at it, but also I kind of accepted it being an inevitable tool in the future.
Isn't it? Aren't you in the industry?
Yeah, I'm in the computer science umbrella.
Most importantly, William, how much smarter do you think Kang's new glasses make him look?
Very smart. He
looks very
He looks
smart.
like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The boy who lives.
Actually, there was a guy on job site who looked just like Harry Potter, so you don't look like him. You're doing good.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You're doing good. I like them a lot.
Thank you.
I like the shape. It's interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Like it looks almost like a circle, but then you look at it more and
Yeah.
it's like little
Yeah,
ridges.
true.
I think straight circle is Harry Potter for glasses.
Okay.
That's why you got to get a little bit of you got to get a little asymmetry
This
in
is
there.
Harry Potter.
Kangy Potter?
Harry Potter.
How far into the Horus Heresy books are you?
And
And does it motivate you to play Horus Heresy?
if I had time to play games, I would definitely play Horus Heresy. It interests me a lot, but the reality is, I've got to be honest. It's like I'm not anywhere near there.
Yeah.
Right? So
what book are you up to? Sorry.
I am currently working my way through Age of Darkness, which is book 16,
Out of, do we know how many books of Horus Heresy there is?
like 52 or something.
Ooh.
Really?
Okay. You know what? It sounds like you're really far.
There's
out.
157 titles in Horus Heresy.
Holy fuck! Never mind. You're way far out.
I need somebody to make it into a movie.
So maybe I should what the 157 titles.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's plugged it to like HBO or something, right? But then like this would need multi-billions of dollars to get done. Like the Lord of the Rings show, I think it was like $1 billion an episode. Yeah.
$1 billion.
$1 billion an episode.
What the hell? What did you do?
Not enough for that.
A lot of cocaine.
Yeah, definitely not. So like, I'm sure. Like, I wonder,
hell?
is there
$1
anything on the
Do they make it back?
Is there anything on the Henry Cavill stuff? Have we seen on updates? On that?
Not a clue.
Say like it's on.
It's a very Amazon thing to do, though, is blowing money into projects. There's a problem right now with the TV show that I really like, Invincible. Have you guys watched it on
It's not
Amazon?
Snow White.
Watch the first season, not the second season.
I thought it's Snow White.
There's 3 seasons now.
Did you go see that?
No.
I haven't watched it. There is 3 seasons of Invincible. The third season is very good, so I recommend people watch it.
I should get
check
back
it
to
out.
it, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good show.
What's it on?
Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Amazon. The main reason why it's a problem for Amazon is they want to allocate more budget towards the animation, which is a significant part of the show because it's an animated show. But however, they have big celebrities for the voice actors.
Oh, so more show means more bills going
Means
out.
more paying of the voice actors, which are big name
Who's
celebrities.
the voice actors?
For example, you have Omni-Man is voiced by, I forgot his name, J. Jonah Jameson. What's his?
Oh shit!
Yeah. And then you have
that's why it looks like him too.
yeah, but I can't name characters off specific top of my head, but a significant amount of the voice actors are just celebrities, like
Oh.
actors, legitimate actors,
Nice.
which means they require legitimate actor pay. And the only reason I know this is because Amazon actually show you as you watch the show. We'll have little features where they.
Oh
tell you.
yeah.
So Stephen Yeun is Mark
Correct.
Grayson.
And Stephen
Is
Yeun's
Mark
a real
Grayson-
actor. Mark Grayson's the main character.
The main character.
That's Invincible. And Stephen Yeun played in like The Walking Dead. He's
Yeah.
like a fairly successful actor.
Isn't it the guy who got smacked in the head?
He was
Yeah,
also
yeah,
in that.
yeah.
He had his own Netflix show that came out quite recently
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the other Asian lady, the comedian.
Yeah. I know that movie. Like the is
Where they fight each other.
yeah, it's got something like what's it called? Beef or something?
Yeah, beef. He was
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's it. So, is Invincible Asian?
He's half. Because the
okay.
mother is Asian and
Yes.
then Omni-Man is Viltrumite.
J.K.
an alien.
Simmons is Nolan.
J.K.
Grace.
Simmons.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's been in like he was like in all the he's like all the
Well, he's
CIA.
not like top tier A, right?
He's not top tier, but he's still got to have a
Tier
legit. Like,
B.
you still have to pay for that guy.
Yeah, but
He's
tier
been in
B.
some pretty big movies.
Walton Goggins, who is the
Walter
guy.
Goggins is Cecil.
Yeah.
Wait. They don't have to act. They just voice. So
No, but you have to pay them still for their time.
yeah, I know,
And
but
it's more
not,
about
not
the-
as
the
much as
time.
acting, right?
Zazie Beetz is in there.
Who is
She's
Zazie Beetz?
very attractive.
Who?
Zazie Beetz. She plays Amber. I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who was that?
That's season 1's girlfriend.
Oh, but she's gone.
dead?
No spoilers.
She's very attractive.
Oh,
Nah, the,
I know
um,
these. Yeah, she's like what's the name? The Domino. You know, Domino. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was in Atlanta. Very
I
attractive
get it.
in
I get
Atlanta.
it. So they've had a bunch of guest celebrities come through as well.
I see what you're saying. It's like the main billing doesn't seem to be that big
And then
a
for
star,
last
but it's
season,
big enough.
the
like-
last season, season 3, they had a significant character voiced by the guy who plays in The Walking Dead the villain, the guy with the bat.
Oh, I know that guy.
Chris Diamat.
no,
Ross.
no.
I don't know, bro. Most of these people I don't
I know.
recognize.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But I'm sure they all
But
expect
still
as the
significantly
things-
more than a voice actor would.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're all clearly acting like TV actors and movie actors and stuff, right? But yeah, I get it. Yeah, would you know? Like we're talking about it now, so we're just TV podcasting it. The Apple just announced that they've lost billions of dollars making their thing, and they have some of the
What was the big Apple show? Severance?
yeah Severance and Ted
Godzilla.
Lasso.
Is Severance good?
Severance. I've watched the first 3 episodes and it's exceptionally good.
People keep telling me that it's like the new, you got to watch it
Yeah,
show.
I've heard that season 2 is a little bit more here or there, but the biggest problem is it happened. There was the writer's
What's
strikes.
the premise of Severance?
So you can like live your life without worrying about work. You can join this company where when you get like a chip in the back of your brain, and then when you go to work, once you enter work, you become like you lose your consciousness and you go in as a different
I
person,
see.
and then you have your work person who exists inside your workplace, and then when you leave work, you go through like a phaser tunnel, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
you go back
It
to being a
resets
normal
you back
self.
to-
And your outside self doesn't know what's going on the inside, and the inside person doesn't know what's going on the outside. But the outside person who effectively is paying for the service never effectively has to go to work. They just
Right.
they go in the door.
And I'm assuming the conflict that shows when someone's inside and outside person starts splitting.
well,
Starts being aware.
It's a little bit more. It's like people do become aware, but that's more helps drive the plot point forward of like, well, what are they doing inside that they don't want people to necessarily know they're doing?
So are they like the plot of the story is to find out what
Oh,
they're doing
because the
inside?
business
Yeah,
itself could do a lot of shading.
Yeah, if everybody on the outside doesn't remember what's happening on the inside and the physical work they're doing, then like
But wouldn't like the government know about it?
Would you
or
guys take the deal? If you could be,
How much are
if
getting
you
paid
could get
first?
inside that truck, Danny, and then you don't remember what happens inside the truck.
well, like the main guy, his whole thing is like his wife had died with some sort of like sickness, right? So he was using it to cut himself off. But personally, I actually enjoy all of my jobs. I know I probably complain about it a lot, but I think what gets me through the day, and this is a little sappy, but whatever, is I really enjoy, even on a rough day with the truck, I enjoy most of it.
The process,
I enjoy coming
right?
to the club. I enjoy working at Burger Boy. I enjoy, even with all the nightmares we've had, enjoy renovating Black Sheep. I never, like there'll be days where I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. But there's never a day where I hate any of the things I do. I don't dislike any of it.
Do you feel like you have because it gives you a firm grasp on seeing progress?
Absolutely. Yeah. I like with the trucks, it's a lot of like, I like being out. I like the people I work with. I like moving around and my environment's always different. I'm in the sun, I'm in the environment. To me, that's really important. In the club, it's something that I'm passionate about. I love the people that are here. I get to be around the hobby and the things that I like. With restaurants, it's very much, I like to create experiences that people can enjoy. Like there's something I really, really appreciate in Nem is the level of effort that he puts into it and how much he cares about the feedback. Like he goes and asks people feedback. Like we really celebrate every time we get a 5-star review on Google or whatever. Like we call each other and we're really excited about it. We really care. That means a lot to us. So I think for us it's a really visceral, like we can create a food or a piece of like an environment or a dining thing and straight away you know if people are enjoying it or not. And it's very much that feedback is such a big thing to me. And I think it's
If you want to cheer Danny's day up and Nem's day up, give a 5-star review.
give 5-star review. Yeah, 5-star over everything. It's great.
Create multiple emails.
I actually don't we went up to Lancelin for my nan's birthday last week, and on the way back we stopped at a pub in Two Rocks, and it was shocking. It was a shocking experience. They were like not
But you were
shocking
up
as
at
in
Two
like
Rocks, right?
surprised.
Was it just no competition that way?
No, there's 3 pubs there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shocking as in the bad.
it was bad. Not shocking as I was surprised. Shocking as I was like everything about it was shocking. So we arrived at like 9:40, 9:50. We get breakfast menus. And we got like my auntie went and got.
Wait, 9:40 a.m. or 9 p.m.
AM.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes up to counter. They give her breakfast menus. We take probably half an hour to decide for breakfast menus. Because I think my mum had to get there a little bit, and then we ordered coffees, and then they ordered their mains. I order Lucas's and his friends like breakfast burger first, and I go order it and come back. Then the rest of my family.
Breakfast menu is not hard to do.
Yeah. It also
Right.
says the breakfast menu on the sign, it says it ends at 12, and on the menu it says at 12. And they gave us the breakfast menus, right? At about, I'd say about 10 past 10, I go up to order the breakfast menu. And they're like, oh, we're actually moving over to the lunch menu. And I was like, oh, it's like, it says here it's like 12. She's like, oh, yeah, we've moved over. So we're going to have to give you the lunch menu. And I'm like, oh, it's a bit weird. It's like a whole hour, like almost it's an hour before the lunch menu starts. And I was like, okay. So I take it back and like, you know, I've got my family's like there's some old ass white people complaining about like the fact that they really wanted the thing they wanted from the breakfast menu and like this stuff like this. So anyway, it takes like 10, 15 minutes.
If you're in a mood for like, you know, bacon and eggs, you're in the mood for bacon and eggs.
Yeah, it's a whole different. The lunch menu was actually very different, right? So they all grumble about it and they get different stuff. I actually kind of really wanted what I wanted, and I'm in a bit of a health kick, so I was just gonna have like eggs Florentine and something, you know, just very eggy, right? But they had a chicken roast thing with like roast like caramelized,
very different
caramelized carrots. And stuff.
Yeah, if you're in the morning
like,
for breakfast and having like a roast chicken thing, very different.
So and they're like caramelized carrots, and I'd had them recently with Nem, and they're really good. So I wanted to kind of check out how these guys did theirs. Anyway, I go back. It's like 11:30. Again, the breakfast menu goes to 12 now. Everyone's who's 11:30. I go back there to order now 5 meals off the lunch menu, and they're like, "Oh, we're not cooking the lunch menu till 12." And I was like, "What? You guys just sent us be back with lunch menus." And he's like, "Oh well, we don't. Yeah, the breakfast is like we're still in breakfast. We're not starting these menus till 12 o'clock."
They can't cook the breakfast?
And I was like, but they can't cook the breakfast. Like every time I've gone up,
So they're closed. They could have just told you they're closed.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a full like there's heaps of people there. It's a full open like cafe like.
So they can't
restaurant.
cook the breakfast. They can't cook the lunch.
Yeah, so
what they can do?
apparently there's like a half an hour, 45-minute window in between there. But the problem is, every time I went to the counter, it was a different person there as well. So it's like. I just don't think they were communicating with each other. Like I think the second lady gave us the breakfast menus too late or whatever, and then the next guy is like, "Well, definitely shouldn't have given the lunch menus." But I'm like, "You guys did that." So I was like, "Hey," he's like, "The roast stuff we definitely can't do until after 12, but I'll push this through for you because you've messed it around." And I was like. Okay, so they did all of everyone's meals except mine. I was fine. I went next door and brought a pie and just ate a pie at their restaurant. I didn't give a fuck. I got it from the bakery, right? But they did those 4. And then somebody else kicked up a hell stink and then they got their breakfast menus done because they complained enough, I guess. But I don't want to be that guy. I'm never going to be that guy. I don't give 1-star reviews.
This is a serious problem in their business. They need to fix it, right? You can't just have a 30-minute, 45-minute block during, say, 11 o'clock when people are going to want food.
Yeah, it's also like, you also got to, the thing is,
when I was in Bustleton, there was like this restaurant beside the jetty, right? So they have the same thing, but we were on like the very end of the breakfast, but they still do the breakfast.
It's also
like if it cuts at 12, they still do it till 12. You order at 11:50.
So a breakfast menu would be
think.
like a full English. What in the full English requires prep?
Exactly. So this is my main thing. As someone who has now restaurant experience, there's nothing on the breakfast menu that requires more than 2 minutes of work.
Yeah.
It's just eggs and bacon and like a sauce being put on. You got to heat it up and throw it out there.
You just extend the cooking, like everything. Like what you do at 10 o'clock.
The biggest thing to me is like we didn't have a server that was dedicated to us, so they don't know that there's been all these little mishaps along the way. So every time when I go back to speak to someone, they're like, "Oh well, it's just a lunch menu. Like that's your problem." But really, it's like it wasn't our problem. We were given the menus by the people each time. So it's like, it's their mess up. Anyway, I ordered my mum within all this, a large coffee. And then my dad wanted a chocolate milkshake because he's a fucking child. And
I want a chocolate milkshake.
They bring out the chocolate milkshake and the coffee, but it's a little mini coffee. And I was like, oh, whatever. This whole experience has been bad. So I was like, whatever, they've given the wrong coffee. About 15 minutes later, they come out with a large coffee and another chocolate milkshake, and they're like, "Oh, you're like for the table, like here's the order." And I was like, "Oh, look, I didn't complain, But you guys did actually give these before, but you gave us the small coffee, and I was just like, we'd paid for a large one. She's like, oh, okay. So she gives my mum the large coffee. So now she's got an additional large coffee. And they had the milkshake. And I guess like if
Dad's get some diabetes.
yeah, well, because they've already
Whoa!
they've
Don't tell me you take it. You're trying to blame the restaurant for this?
they've messed up the entire order the entire time. So if it was me, I would have given the milkshake to the table.
They took it back?
They took it back. They took the chocolate milkshake back and poured it down the sink. And my dad was like, I would have had the milkshake.
That's so silly though.
It's so silly. It's like it's both either because
the whole mess up the order and then throwing it away.
Yeah. I think if you already done it, like you're gonna throw it away. Might as well just give it, make people happy.
Give it to
right?
the table and then like
the hospitality
and trying to increase that level of like hospitality you provided. Right. I was bewildered by what went on.
Very shocked at how many steps of hospitality they just did not.
Yeah. And so at the end of it, I went to the guy, and because I'm a big believer of not giving 1 stars on the internet unless they really truly deserve it. Like I think so. I said I went
spits in your food kind of deal.
I went to the manager. I was like, hey, I know my opinion doesn't matter to you, but I just want to let you know, like if I don't do 1 star, but this has been a terrible experience, and this is what I think you could have done better. And he was listened enough, you know what I mean? If he'd been like, fuck off, I would have definitely given Ron 1 star review. But I was like, he was like, yeah, that's fair enough. I see what you're saying. I can understand, like, what like where you're coming from. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, because like I like as someone who has restaurants, when we do get a 1 star review, it's mostly bullshit, nonsense. Like our only 1 star review that's happened since I've been with Burger Boy was a lady complaining that we weren't open at a time that we weren't open. Like we're not open at that time. And she's like, oh, 1 star, I came all this way and it wasn't open. It's like, did you check the fucking open times? Like, I don't know what you want from me.
I went to like a steak house and I was like, there's no vegan stuff.
Yeah, it's very much like that. It's just like it's like well, if you come at 4 o'clock on a Sunday when we're not open, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
like that we're not open, whatever. But it's like that rating is so important because so many people come because of the rating. So like talking to Nem a lot, we get a lot of people who now come to Burger Boy because they don't believe the rating. They think it's bullshit. So they'll check all the ratings because like if you don't have enough ratings on there, people will just assume that you've got all your family members and friends to put them on there.
So you need it, yeah.
Yeah. So now because there's only 2. Because
I'm the same. If I see a place that's 5 stars, sorry, like a 5-star review, but only say 6 reviewers.
Yeah.
Very believable.
It's not enough aggregated information to really care about it. Like, but there's only 2 burger restaurants in the whole state that have a 4.9. So it's us and a place out in the Kalamunda Hills, which we should go. We're going to go maybe do a little visit, have a gander because they've got 280 reviews and I think we have about 180 reviews. So you're there seeing at 4.9 with 280, which is pretty impressive because like the more reviews you get on any business, then you increase the chance of just getting someone
come check it out.
Yeah, some kind of cockhead who just says dumb shit. You do because like we've got a 4-star review and they're complaining about the like the dining area that there wasn't any clean tables when they went down, and that's totally valid. But as a reflection of our business,
it's just one of those hard to. Yeah.
We're not in charge at all of cleaning those tables and moving things away. So it's not
harden up, Roy.
So when someone's like, if it was say that review was on the markets, I could totally understand that. But for us, it dramatically affects how people are going to view our business over something that we have zero control of. You know what I mean? Or we have to go out of our way to pay an extra person to clean tables.
Nem like messed up your order twice.
Yes.
Then I mean, you deserve a 1 star, but. I don't know. Sometimes people is just
and we have so few. But the thing is that if you look at like I always like to go to big restaurants and see what theirs are. So one of my favorite ones I ever found was at Milky Lane, like the big where they have like the hip hop burger bar. There's a big one in Currumbine, right?
Isn't that one of the main ones? The Currumbine one. The Currumbine one is massive.
It is massive. Yeah. So they also announced they're bringing Chuck E. Cheese to Australia. I don't know if you've seen that.
Are they abandoning the American audience and trying to try the Australian audience?
Well, I
thought Chuck E. Cheese was on free fall in terms of profitability.
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe they think they're going to make money here. I don't know. But they not these same people. Different people tried to launch Chuck E. Cheese in Australia years ago as Larry Cheese.
Nah.
Do you know why? Because in Australia we use the term chuck as in to vomit. So they didn't want to be like Chucky, like he's chucking. But that horrifically failed.
Because there's no brand recognition.
Oh yeah. Also, Larry Cheese sounds fucking stupid.
It does. Like, to be fair, Chuck E. Cheese is not much better.
Yeah, it's not much better, but it's like it rhymes. It's a mouse called Chucky. You're like,
it rhymes.
Whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. The rhyming helps a lot. But anyway, they're bringing that. But at Milky Lane, there was a complaint, right? And the girl, it was a female, and she complained that when she ordered the burger, she didn't get 4 burgers.
The girl who was a female.
Yeah. It's not important. I know why I said that. But she complained she didn't get 4 burgers because in the promo picture in the menu was 4 burgers stacked on top of each other and then stabbed through with like a sword or something, like some sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But so she's like, and it was like, $18, right?
Okay, to be fair, I can kind of get where she's coming from.
Can you though?
Because there are people who will mistake that all the time.
I guess so, but like when you see a TV advert for KFC,
Correct.
Are you complaining that your thing doesn't come with an 18-year-old girl in a bikini because an 18-year-old girl in a bikini is holding it? No, stupidity.
No, but if my chicken is stabbed, if there's 4 pieces of chicken stabbed through with a sword and I order it, I might expect...
It's 4 full-size burgers, right, in a promo picture.
Also, the fact that she wants to eat 4 full-size burgers.
Or she wants 4 full-size burgers for $18. Like, what world are we living in? And as part of the review, they'd also brought a girl who, like a daughter, who had like some sort of like maybe learning disability or something like that. And she had headphones and she'd complained in there that the place was too loud and scary for her daughter. But it's a place that advertises having a DJ on while you eat. So they have like strobe lights and hip hop music playing really loud.
As a parent to vet the place.
In the rating, a part of the reason that she said that she gave her 1 star was because they didn't have a charger that would charge her kids' headphones. It's like, why would they have that? It's like, why on earth would you have this thing?
Entitlement is called entitlement.
But it's also insane to like go to a restaurant and think that they would have headphones like specifically that would charge your specific headphones. Crazy.
I like the places that take the 1-star reviews, prints them out, and displays them in a frame.
Like fights them over it.
Yeah. Have you seen the places where they will like get like stupid 1-star reviews and they'll turn it as like a twist, as a bit of marketability? They can be like, check out this.
I think a lot of people use that as a marketing now. There's a place that I go in Melbourne. It's like a barbecue place, right? Like just like the Big Dons, right? In WA.
Yeah.
So, and then someone left a 1-star review because it was sold out. The food was sold out. And then this was their first 1-star review out of like 200-ish. And then they would put it on the like, and then they'd say like, "Thank you for the 1-star review because of this."
Yeah, the food is so good, we're selling out.
We're still selling out. Yeah.
And then it's so embarrassing to that person. Now everybody's gonna go. Now the problem is they blurred out the name, but everybody is gonna go into Google and then find out this person.
I will admit the first thing that when somebody gives us a bad review, I look them up on Facebook straight away.
Yeah,
I want to see what kind of stupid asshole is voted.
I get it. Like I also have murderous intent.
The only other bad review on our whole Burger Boy review is somebody bought the Philly cheeseburger, complained that it was too messy, and we're like, I guess so, but that's what that whole thing is. Like, that's that whole thing. It's like getting pancakes and ice cream and then saying the ice cream's too cold. It's like, so then we literally...
I want a Coke with ice without ice.
Yeah. So we literally changed... That's why we packaged the Philly cheese.
This is why people need to be reading books before going to bed. Because we're getting dumber. People need to... Reading comprehension is at an all-time low.
Well, now, anytime somebody orders the Philly cheese, we warn them that it's a messy chopped burger, which we shouldn't have to say, but we do. We add that time on. But Nem also packages with that paper that goes around the burger
to hold
so you can hold
what a great top job now.
But it's well that whole thing.
5 stars to you.
It's such a stupid thing to complain about, but we want to mitigate. We want to decrease the amount of friction that customers can have in our environment, And it's like even to the lowest common denominator.
I bet you there are people that look at it and see that it says Philly cheesesteak, and they just see that say steak and they order it.
I am worried about that. So and because Nem used to call everything sandwiches because he'll go into this like I'm a French trained chef and like I know that these are actually sandwiches. I'm like, I get that, Nem. I understand that you know that that's a sandwich apparently. I don't give a fuck because 90% of the people that are come here are going to be like, I don't want a sandwich. I'm going to order a burger. Do you know how much our sales went up when we changed everything on the menus to go to fucking burgers instead of saying sandwiches? And it's like, and like, I don't know if you remember the old menu, but there was a lot of flippant terminology on there that technically was correct, but it made no fucking sense. Or he'd give everything like really weird names.
La Casson.
Yeah. It was like, he had like a lot of fun names, but nobody knew what was going on at any time. We made like 10%, 15% extra sales in a month from moving from a menu that just said a bunch of random shit to having
naming
actual
things is important, man. Just like how we're going to name this podcast episode.
Yeah.
It's called the randoms.
What's a clickbait thing I can name it?
No one's wearing pants.
No one's wearing pants? That's the episode name?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we're going in 1 hour.
If you got this far in the episode and you got to the part where you made sense on why the episode's called
to
No
Dragon's
One's
Song.
Wearing Pants, there you go.
Dragonstorm.
No, before you get to Dragonstorm, Warhammer Adepticon announcements. You guys,
Alright.
do you guys see the new minis?
My favorite
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the Asian army.
Cathay. Grand Cathay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for Warhammer Fantasy, it actually looks incredible.
And that one particular miniature.
Which one?
The giant.
Oh, the
Dragon?
big statue. Man.
Yeah, the big statue.
Oh, the
man.
statue?
Yeah,
He's very
so cool.
The Terracotta Warriors and in...
Oh, wait. And second one, the lantern.
So for context,
The lantern's very
for
cool.
context, at the exact moment we're recording, this morning was the Warhammer Adepticon announcements. They like to do big announcements for the upcoming releases. We saw a lot of Age of Sigmar releases, a lot of 40k releases, and very excitingly for us as old world Warhammer Fantasy fans here. They finally announced the release of Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay is a faction we've not seen before in Old World. It's completely brand new, which means new sculpts, new plastic.
all brand new.
And they look great. So
They look fantastic.
geographically, Cathay is the Old World equivalent of Asia, right?
Yes.
Mainland Asia. So we're talking...
They've really mingled together like the China, Japanese styles together.
I would say it's a real mix of China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia almost. Just the Asians in kind of a mixed like interpretation. But they look great.
The Mongolian side is generally more left to it's. I don't know. It's not. It was never intended.
So
to be
is
racist,
this
but
like
it could
the
be.
white scars?
But the Mongolians would tend to
Pretty
be
much.
more the mountain goblins.
Yeah.
They're all, so that's why they have all like the fur helmets and the
Yeah.
spikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But definitely like the Chinese, Korean, Japanese like style. Definitely more leaning towards China.
I would say it's more mainland. It's
What's
very,
your
very mainland
favorite mini?
of the new
The
stuff.
whole thing, the whole
Ooh,
Adepticon.
hard to say.
One.
The big lantern.
The big lantern.
The big lantern is
And you,
also
Danny?
the only reason why the big lantern because I don't know how it's going to be on the table.
Is it big?
It's massive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's real big. Yeah.
It's such a functionally impractical mini on the table.
In the game, it affects sectionally as a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
But it's got a lantern instead of the balloon
Hold on.
part,
it
right?
flies over and drops.
You know what?
Like stuff.
The
right?
lantern is gonna be like a really hard piece to paint because now everybody's gonna like plan how am I gonna do like fire
The glow
inside,
effect on
the
the
glow
inside.
in fire,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Perspective tricks is going to be very hard on that.
it's great.
The main thing I need to worry about
shared a
is
thing on the Northern Boards thing today, and it was someone had done a diorama of a forest fire, and they actually coincidentally had like it's a forest fire, right? So it's like fire and lights and smoke that they've used for this. So
The lighting,
this
yeah.
definitely can be done. Yeah.
The tricky part is, do we know how much of it's going to be plastic, how much of it might be resin, yada yada.
It's all
yada.
plastic.
All plastic.
It's all plastic.
It's all plastic
This
now.
is not only going to be a completely the newest sculpts possible.
There's not
for
like
Old World
Forge
Fantasy,
World is like,
but also it's going to
cutting
be
off
probably the
Forge
most
World.
accessible if it's all plastic.
Don't you feel like Forge World is like getting less and
So
lesser?
the
They
team,
are, but they still use resin occasionally.
yeah, but it's not a lot.
So
Like,
the
it's
Forge
very
World
little.
team became the people that are in charge of the Old World.
Yeah.
As well as like Blood Bowl and Horus Heresy and stuff. So there's a team for 40k, there's a team for AOS, there's a team for writing books, and there's a team, basically all the Forge World people got merged into this other section of doing all the alternative games. So, but you can see some of the sculptors from AOS have now gone over to at least they're being subbed out.
Because the influence feels there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're just, you can just tell like some of the horse guys for Cathay are a little bit thicker boys, you know, they're not
There's
little,
a bit of scale creep. You can feel it.
yeah, there's
they
definitely
want to pack as
scale
much
creep,
detail
yeah.
in as they can.
I think we have to accept we've moved away from 28s to 32s completely now.
Yeah.
There's very little. Like if you look at even
the market definitely says people want more detailed, better sculpted minis, and in order for the designers to do that, they need a larger canvas.
I think they found as well for a lower level to average level painter, it's easy to make a 32 millimeter model look decent with like less thing, it's a lot easier for an average painter to get an acceptable like thing out of it.
A big mini.
What's your
looks good.
favorite mini?
Yeah, for the
Me,
new releases.
I really like the heavy weapons team that has like the fireworks that are firing out of like.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, so
Was
you
that
got
in the
Cathay as
background of
well.
the picture?
Sorry.
Was that in the because I saw a couple like spotlight pictures, but I know there was a
Everybody
army
loves
showcase.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, there is showcase pictures of them as well. But the transition dragon also very cool because in the game you can be a wizard and you can merge into the large dragon.
The
So on
emperor,
field-
like the rulers of the kingdom, are shapeshifters. They're dragon shapeshifters.
Oh, really?
yeah. That's why I proposed tonight be another dragon episode because the whole
Double dragon.
there's the like obviously the Chinese I guess history is the way we put it, like, or like
There's spiritualism.
is all about the dragon. So the main thing is the rulers are these like demigods that walk among men and like earth, but they are demigods, and they can transform from being that into the dragons. Because the main thing is, like, you know, the guys who created like the lizard men, or in the old world fantasy realm, when the I think it was called the Old Ones or the something ones.
Aren't the old ones implied to be like the slan?
No, they created the slang.
Okay.
So it's basically just the World of Warcraft 100% just stole the whole concept, and
Right.
Warhammer may have just stole it from someone else. I just don't know who they've stole it from. But the whole idea is these faceless god entities came to the planet and reshaped it. Right.
I see.
And then on the Warhammer Fantasy thing is Ulthuan, where the elves live, is created into like a giant filter, and it filters chaos away. And the idea is it's sucking chaos out of the universe through this planet into another planet. So for a fantasy setting, it's a huge overtoned sci-fi setting.
The other side of it is the Eye of Terror.
Yeah, maybe he could.
40K.
Like back in maybe the early days, maybe that was
the intention, maybe.
Yeah, because in very early text, like
Oh,
we're
can
talking
you
about
imagine?
There was a
60s.
lot of crossover.
What
There was
if
40K, yeah.
one day 40K goes into fantasy?
Well, in the original ones,
I think a single Space Marine fucks up a lot.
What if the olden times the armor is pretty
Actually,
good?
no. That's entirely wrong because there's a lot
magic,
of
though.
crazy powerful magic. So no, I think a Silver Space Marine is fucked.
Well, the whole
Never mind.
the original concept was that Sigmar, who's the god who becomes the god king, is who becomes the emperor eventually.
Yeah.
And it was mentioned a few times in very early
like to
like
link
White
up the
Dwarfs,
universes.
but they separated it like even very early on though, like in the 80s, I think they separated it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, they have these overtones.
You don't want these universes to overlap too because it reduces a lot of creative potential.
So the story is that when they came, the old ones or whatever they were fucking called, they basically murdered everything they didn't love that was already there, they didn't like, including all the dragons. They destroyed all the dragons. So like that's why dragon ogres and the Farmir and like all these other things are gone. Now the cafe versions of the dragons hid themselves as humans among like the human populace by like transforming themselves, and that's how they've survived into the current time. That's their whole storyline. So now it's about them re-emerging as like being able to like show themselves as dragons. They feel safe to like go out and be that, but they can also walk among their populace, which is a very cool concept. I think.
Interesting.
The Interesting.
Cathay, they have a big giant wall that holds chaos back. I think mainly Zinch.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Zinch is primarily up above, but it's also like holds like the Baron hordes and stuff like that as
Yeah.
well. Which is obviously reminiscent of them holding
Great
out the
Wall.
Mongols and stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm quite excited. It's definitely tingling on the idea of maybe I should dive into a bit of old world fantasy. Obviously, I already like Warhammer Fantasy. I like the idea of how the game plays, and now there's a brand new faction where I have to stress about resin and Finecast or whatever. And also, it's like deeply related to my culture, so it helps.
It's definitely just plastic. If they want to sell, it's plastic.
Yeah.
It's quite a fully fledged. It's a humans list. It's like you have a mix of human things doing human things, like soldiers, footmen, and knights.
very much
and
so.
also a mixture of the fantastical because you have dragons and giant terracotta warriors.
Yeah.
And Willie mentioned that giant terracotta warrior. It's looking to be quite a big mini.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So it'll probably sit roughly like about the water bottle size, I reckon.
That's
yeah.
pretty substantial.
Yeah.
I'm partial to the big constructs in old world fantasy. It's the reason why the Tomb Kings have the big sphinxes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
Ushapti? They're really cool minis.
Did
in
you
my opinion.
watch Black Panther 2?
No, I did watch Black Panther 1.
Not that I remember. I probably did, but I don't
Remember
remember
like
anything about it.
Shuri when she became Black Panther, and
Over-
then the
took over
what's
her name?
Dora, what's it called, Dora, the
Explorer?
bodyguards, Dora.
Maybe I don't know that.
All right, they
Black
had the
Panther
suits,
came out in like
you know,
2016, bro. I don't know.
They
You
have the
gotta
suits.
give us more
Remember the
hints.
suits that they wore to fight the Namor?
No. Maybe I didn't see it because I feel like I watched all of the Marvel movies
then
up
you-
to a certain point, and then it was like
And then you
basically
watch,
nothing.
and then you
after.
see the new Thousand Sun units. It looks exactly like it.
Do you like those new Thousand Sun units?
I didn't like him at first, but they've
Doesn't
grown
have
on
the
me.
feel though.
So
I don't-
Thousand-
it doesn't look Thousand Suns
So
to me.
this
Yeah,
whole
that's what I
whole
thought.
chaos thing that's going around is that every chaos faction is getting their codex, and alongside the codex, they're also receiving a mini or two of something brand new. The Thousand Sons are getting in my opinion, it looks like an Ushapti. It's very Egyptian construct, sphinxy kind of like looking, right? It looks like something out of the Egyptian history, which is why I kind of grown to like it.
To me, I felt like the shaping of it, and it felt
This is the suit.
Yeah.
The
Let's have a look. See,
Dalai
William. William just put up a picture.
Oh yeah. To
I
me,
get it. Yeah,
I felt
very
the
Egyptian
new,
inspired.
that new Thousand Suns model looks much more like when somebody like James Cameron creates like a mech suit
Oh, yeah,
for like
correct.
to move crates around in the back
I
of
don't
a
think
movie.
they've. I think they've gone too. It's a common thing in 40K that I find in the designs right now, where they don't take a concept far enough.
Yeah,
it always
yeah,
feels like it goes
100%.
halfway.
Yeah,
like if you're going to
because Thousand
do,
Suns imagery is so iconic and so Egyptian, just lean right
if you
into that.
if you were designing something that wanted to go that way,
No, they did.
you
Like
just,
just the
lean in
face.
hard, commit hard to it, because you look,
Just
you look
make
at
the giant Ushaptis.
maybe even
yeah, like mechanical versions of the Shabdis
because
from fantasy.
compared
have
to
been amazing.
everything else, obviously
sell
in
well.
these big in these big companies, you have many different design teams working on different things at all times, right? Maybe the design team that works on Zinch is doing something different for World Eaters, because the corn side is they're fully committed to making all their stuff looking as vicious
As corny as possible, yeah.
as corny as possible. So I don't know, man.
I think what's noticeable as well, the teams that create all these minis in like right up to the 90s and even 2000s, it was always a bit of like hit and miss. Like some things were cool, some things were not. It was easy not to spend money because some models they would release, you're like, that's a bit goofy looking.
You guys got a favorite Chaos God aesthetic,
Nope.
William?
Oh, I like that guy. Dev God.
So you like Nurgle?
Nurgle.
You're a
Nurgle's
Nurgle
my
aesthetic kind of guy?
I like it.
I definitely think
I like the new Nurgle miniature as well.
Yeah.
I think I leaned more towards the Zinch stuff. Yeah, Thousand
Zinch
Suns is
stuff is
very
super
interesting to
creative.
me. I also like the crow and the crow slash
They
eagle
do
kind of-
take the most creative like liberties with Zinch.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah, obviously they all have infinite possibilities, but I think there's more span inside the Zinch models for sure.
Yeah.
like I'm not as big a fan as the demons. I think the demons of like the corn and stuff I think are more interesting, but I think the Zinch like models and their armor and like the Egyptian and the color schemes are really interesting.
I'm a big like Nurgle aesthetic guy. I like that body horror, and I think they're having a lot more fun with it. But recently, this Slanesh stuff is looking pretty good.
Oh yeah,
And you never want to. I always never want to admit it. I never want to admit this. The Slanesh
you don't want to be the
stuff
guy
looks
who's
good.
into the Slanesh stuff in the
Yeah.
store.
Nah,
Yeah,
I never liked
exactly.
Slanesh.
Plus, like I feel like you a Death Guard working with the Nurgle, like that's what you're just doing here at the store all day
Correct.
long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're like, this
The
I'm
two
with my
sides of
people.
Northern Boards.
Yeah.
Slash and Nurgle.
The Slanesh is when that one girl walks in and everyone stares and they turn around.
The fly.
Are you trying to eat flies again? Are you, Will?
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
crazy.
So, new releases. Another big one that caught everyone's eye is Space Wolves. After I don't even know how long since Space Wolves
Yeah,
got a
Space
big
Wolves
I
update.
got
didn't see that.
They're giving
What?
Space
A new box set,
They've
too.
started announcing the big Space Wolf range reset. So we're getting new Space Wolf, Space Marines, of course, new characters, and a big visual update. They've already announced that this is only going to be the beginning of it. So we're going to get more and more and more.
Interesting.
This is very
money.
interesting. This leads into a lot of big questioning because we're due for a loyalist Primarch, and we don't know if it's going to be Limiros.
Ooh,
Maybe.
he's back.
We don't know. We don't know.
It could be Vulcan.
I'm actually leaning more to Vulcan these days. I maintain that it's between Vulcan or Limiros, but with Space Wars receiving an update earlier into the edition, it
Limiros.
leaves Salamanders open for later in the edition for a big
True.
announcement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Sally.
Vulcan coming back would be sick, man. Why not? You know, you can imagine the model with a bunch of fire and magma, maybe really representing
Nice.
the fire aesthetic they have, and also dragons, kind of.
Dragonstar.
Yeah, man, this new mini they've shown for the Space Wolves is very cool looking. Like I guess they were always primed. Like when was the last release when they were riding the big wolves? That was quite a while ago.
I
wow.
think that might be 7th ed or
Yeah.
8th ed.
Yeah, that sounds
They're
about right.
super due for a
10
big
years.
update.
10 years maybe.
They're Space Wolves are for such an iconic faction. They're the one with the oldest minis at the moment for Space Marines. I think.
Really?
I think so. I think they still have some of the old stuff.
Oh, they've actually shown like a lot today.
Yeah. There's a lot of Sigma stuff that's shown, but none of it actually necessarily new. It's just resets of boxes.
One of my favorite things that to come out of today was it was a meme, and it's the lantern. You know that aristocrat meme where it's like three guys dressed in like mid-century suits and they're looking down at people.
Yeah.
It's
They're
they've
very
put-
Monty Python.
Yeah, they've put those inside the lantern, and it's like the old world players looking down on the AOS releases, like because it's like all the
Yeah.
old world releases are so cool, and you've got like maybe mediocre, really.
The AOS got like a couple.
Yeah.
But then it feels like Old World has brand new armies coming out at every corner.
Yeah.
And the Old World players are just constantly cheering. They're like a lot of celebration.
It's hard to tell what's real and what's just people talking shit out their ass, right? But it feels very much like Old World has done a lot better than what they expected it too, and also is making
The
more
rumor
sales
is
than
yes.
AOS.
The rumor is that's how it's kind of went. The rumor is actually that Horus Heresy and Old World are actually just both doing better than they initially predicted.
Interesting.
Because Horus Heresy is actually fairly popular.
I wonder if Horus Heresy is more efficient because you don't have to have as many different models.
Nah, you actually bring in a lot of minis for Horus Heresy.
No, but I mean, as in like each army's basis is the same
You're
minis,
right.
Yeah.
so they
If you
can
play
focus
Space
more on
Marines,
the
you just have the release.
yeah, like the vehicles,
Base copy.
the vehicles and the Marines can be painted in whichever scheme.
I think-
and then you can focus down on the cool
I
character
think what they
models that people really like.
underestimated was how nostalgic people are for old style of Warhammer 40k, where you use blast templates and measurement tools.
Oh,
and
flame template.
Old school.
Super
So-
not like
Scatter dice.
practical,
Yeah.
but way more fun.
But I think what's happened is you're going to get that divide now where old school players that want that complexity will play Horus Heresy, and new age players that want to just play 40k. For
Choices.
The simpler, like quicker action will play 40k. Same thing with it's easy. The easiest comparison is just Age of Sigma and Old World Fantasy.
Yeah. Did you,
Just get rid of
being in the
Sigma.
shop and being around people playing, I feel like there's a bigger divide of like new players are really enjoying the new version of 40k, but maybe more legacy players like 10 to 15 plus year old people who've been in the hobby are not so much loving this new version of 40k.
Yeah.
And it's like,
In GW's mind, they're basically having that classic. What's that phrase again? Like you have two cakes and you eat both of them. They're just like, why not double dip on new age players and also old players?
They
We can
have to,
satisfy
right?
both. We can make both happy.
I also think like I wonder if like with fantasy being as popular as it is because you don't see it in the media as much. Like I know there's the Lord of the Rings show, but it doesn't have the same heavy weight as the Lord of the Rings being on the movie screen.
So
Like,
different.
Where else are you going for that kind of experience? Like that
Old classic high fantasy?
Yeah, classic high fantasy. I just
No.
if it's out there, I don't know where you're getting it from.
I
right now.
legitimately think the last big high fantasy, show was like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
We haven't had anything since, right?
Yeah, with your big epic cast.
Maybe the
battles.
closest one was like I know the Witcher TV show was very big for a while, but that's kind of now gone quiet.
Yeah, definitely.
But
has-
after Henry Cavill
Cavill.
left, then
Yeah.
it's like just dead.
like for me, I think of like when I think it was
Nothing beats Lord of the Rings though.
yeah.
I don't have that feeling anymore. Like if you go to watch a movie, like you don't have that Lord of the Rings
That
feeling.
grand-
Grand,
Yeah.
like
Oh my goodness!
the closest one for me would just be Dune.
Yeah,
The
true.
closest
Yeah.
one was for me going from Dune 1 to Dune 2 did feel a little bit of like that. Oh man, I really got to check out where the story goes. And now with Dune 3, it definitely captures a bit of that feeling, but I don't think it's anywhere close to Lord of the Rings still.
Have you guys seen that Dune house that's from over east?
Is that just sand, a desert?
No, there's a famous architect built like a Dune style house, and it's called. It's got a title. It's
Does
called Dune.
it feel like something that you would have inside of a mountain, like carved out of a mountain?
Yeah, it feels like a palace of like maybe that like
That's hectic.
that a bit Arabic style like shapes and design and sand. And I think it was worth like 100 million. Oh, I think it was millions of dollars. Maybe it was like I think he bought the house.
Does it have spice?
Yeah, well, I think he bought it
Lots
for
of paprika on it.
There's like no water in the house.
quite a famous influencer bought it, like a gym influencer here in Australia, bought it for $11 million, right? But he's just
Damn, gym influencers are making that much money?
well, he's just sold it a year later for $12 million. But
$1 million.
He went on his social media to like say like, I've made a lot of money, and I'm making a lot of money, but I way overextended myself buying this house. And if by the time he'd paid his mortgage on it, he would have spent $19 million if he continued going. Oh, so he was
bowed out early.
I guess I think he was getting ahead of the game and just being like, yeah, I've made a lot of money, but I'm
I
not.
bet he also probably you would have used the house for a lot of content potentially.
Yeah, definitely to begin with, absolutely, yeah. But I think it's just really interesting. It's like I think the part of his like whole arc here was like maybe trying not to be as fake showy as what is real.
Right.
He's like, yeah, like I've made this and it should be something to aspire to that I've done really well. But this like spending $8 million giving it to that to bank seems fucking insane. I totally get that.
Speaking about Cathay being dragons and East Asian inspired, we have Taki Dragonstorm. Taki Dragonstorm is coming out around the corner. I know we plan this episode to kind of dive in and really talk about the cards for a while, but I might have to save for the next episode because we are running close on time. This one's going to be a bit of a shorter one here. But I guess for the listeners as well, Taki Dragonstorm is the next Magic set coming out in actually a week's time. Next week is actually the release of it. It's a revisit of Classic Takia, which is a set that was famously known for introducing a lot of the 3-color sets. And the clans of Takia, there are 5 clans. The 5 clans of Takia is actually what we name and still use as the names for 3-color pairings.
Yeah,
so Jeskai is red, white, blue, and that we to this day we still call that 3-color pairing Jeskai. We call the pairing of their flies are just really vicious right now.
Yeah, the flies are killing me.
They're like fighting us. And then the color pairing of green, black, blue is called Sultai, named after the Sultai clan.
So these only came out a few years ago, realistically, like what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Takia?
Yeah.
Nah, that's Takia's like 2017, bro. 2016 maybe.
Okay, so not even 10 years then,
Yeah.
though. But, or is it more than 10 years? 12 years?
No, 10 years. Less than 10.
Yeah.
Less than 10 years.
So what did we call the 3-color pairings before that?
They were we had the other 3-color pairings like Jund,
Riff.
like Jund and all that were based off the Alara shards.
Plane chase. Plane the circle one. What's it called?
Shards of Alara?
No.
the
Planescape, plane shift. No, another one.
It's
It's the spiral.
yeah,
the swirl.
spiral.
They said that's a spiral.
Where they changed the color. They changed
Rift
the
the
color.
Awakener was the colors then.
Oh, okay.
Rift.
Yes, I understand where you're coming from because I've used these names for so long now. I cannot remember what the old one names were. The old names of the 3-color pairings used to be.
Oh, I actually managed to kill that fly.
Amazing. But yeah, exciting times. The reason why I mentioned the relationship with Grand Cathay and
it's
Old World
invasion.
Fantasy
No.
is the clans of Takia are heavily influenced by like Asian inspiration, right? So we have the Madu are very clearly inspired by Mongolian culture, and Jeskai is very inspired by the Tibetan culture.
Have you guys seen this rat curse Rakasha, which is our kind of like a demon version of the
Plane shift.
The
Plane shift.
Plane shift, yeah.
called
I
Plane
think I
shift.
said
yeah, that's the one where they change the colors, right?
yes. They had a lot of cards that were mechanically different.
Yeah,
from the
they
colours
change. Yeah,
should have been.
they it's in like the alternate plane like universe. So like it's not even for different planes, it's different universe of planes, and they changed all the color identities. So you had white counter spells and black card draw, black ramp or something.
Yeah,
it
that
was.
set really broke a lot of things.
Yes. Last time it used to be called if it's blue, black, and red, which is like what's it called?
Grixis.
Right? That's called crosses.
Well, Grixis.
Oh, Croesus was the dragon.
Yeah.
So
The name of the dragons.
The dragons.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
what
but Grixis is listed for a long time because Grixis is part of the Alara shards.
Yeah,
and
that's-
that's where we use the names from. But what were the
But
the
that's
clans named after?
Yeah, but no. I'm talking about the colors. Then, like you can't. There's when we were, you don't call like like Jund. There's no Jund then.
The time frame is really kicking in for all of us right now.
I guess before we had distinct names for them, people
Like
just called them by
Droma.
the
Droma
colours.
is white, blue, and black.
Fuck, I never heard that in my life. Eh?
Yeah. All right, but before we dive, so if you want to check out the Taki episode, we'll make next episode the Taki episode.
Sure,
where
yeah,
we dive
yeah.
in, talk about the cards, excitement.
Dragon episode number 3.
Dragon episode number 3. yeah, part 3 of us talking about dragons. And then it also means that
Double
we'll talk about the
dragon.
commanders coming out. Should be pretty exciting stuff. So, and we're getting absolutely assaulted by flies right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This flies is killing me.
Any last words, gentlemen?
Nah.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Burger Boy is the best.
Yeah. None of us are wearing pants right now, and go leave a 5-star review for Burger Boy. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
5
Short
stars now.
episode. Bye bye. Short one.